What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today we'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for strategy B with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So, man, what a sell-off occurred on Friday. Earnings report was actually good in my opinion. They beat expectations by an extreme amount, and revenue was also a slight surprise. So, earnings revenue pretty good so far. The market, I don't think the market dropped because of the earnings report. This could be subjective in the sense that someone might be believing that if the earnings report was good this quarter, maybe it's not good the next quarter, or they will not be able to keep this consistent. So, it could be slightly subjective, but I think in the grand total, most people believe that, it was probably positive earnings. I think the market dropped just mostly in the short term because of the technicals. The broader market, there was a large sell-off. Anything you look at, most of the stocks were down. Apple, I think even Nvidia, Tesla, Coinbase was down a large amount. We can take a look at Coinbase right now. 16% earnings report for that. They beat the earnings, slightly missed on the revenue. Is a slight miss on the revenue going to drop a stock 16%? Not really. It was looking like it wanted to drop down anyway, especially because we went up really quickly here. We can go down really quickly as well. So it's probably coming back to 260s. And then, we'll go from there. I think Riot also dropped down a large amount. 17%. I mean, that's a large amount for a mining company. Typically, it's a pretty, sideways trading market. But it makes sense. Look at, we had a triple top here and we hit the same level. And that was a quadruple top, sold off. And then earnings report decided to drop down lower instead of breaking up higher. So again, it was just a broader market sell-off. MSTR is, one of the more riskier equities. So they're going to be dropping a large amount. So let's look at the chart. There was this downward trend line in play for a while now. We almost tried to break through it on Thursday, the day before, but it failed and it closed kind of technically still below the trend line. It doesn't matter how you draw it, it doesn't have to be perfect, but there's still a downward bias to the stock price. So since we broke the upper sloping trend line last week, you can see that price was not really trying to get back above it. We broke it, then we started this downward trend line, and it's below the EMA. Now it's just coming back down to this major support level at lower 360s. So again, we could be bottoming out here, or we could maybe see a breakdown this level. If it breaks down this level, the next level would be 314, 315. So that would be back down way over here. And then from there, it would be this triple bottom at 238. So we'll take it one day at a time. As right now, let's just keep an eye on the 360s. Let's see if we get a bounce there. But that's basically what happened. We saw a drop in the stock price because of the technicals. Technicals can override the fundamentals in the short term. Fundamentals, yes, can override the technicals in the very long term. But as right now, the market looked at the chart. They saw that was a downtrend, and they started, selling the shares. They want to get out of the position. They want to, take a short. Doesn't matter, whatever. They just look at the technicals. Technicals were bearish, and that's what the market believes. And we sold off. And also, the market is very smart. So they were probably already foreshadowing Bitcoin dropping over the weekend. So they were like, okay, let me get out of my position right now because Monday might open even lower. So you can see that Bitcoin, which we'll take a look at right now, is also looking like it wants to track to lower prices. Right now, it's at 112,000. I'm looking for about 110, and let's see if we get a bounce from there. That's kind of like right where this trend line is at. This trend line could be drawn maybe like this, but we didn't really see a reaction off of that, so it could be lower. And if it's a little bit lower, it coincides with this horizontal level as well as at 111, 110, 111. So we could be seeing this zone right over here act as some sort of reversal area. So I think the selling pressure may not last that long, but just monitor this trend line. As long as we're still below this trend line, then we're bearish. It's just simple as that. We're below the trend line, we're bearish, we break it. There's a good chance we go for higher prices. So as right now, Bitcoin only dropped about 9 percentage points, so 8.5. So it's not even a serious drop. Even if it goes to the target, I think you can hit, that's 10.5. I don't think it's going to go lower than that, but even if it does, it's not that big of a deal. Bitcoin is just correcting lower. I'm still looking for higher prices. We can still go for this measure move target towards the 136 level. This is one leg up right here. Second leg up, this is targeting the 136 level. And we just saw the first attempt by the bulls. Now we're seeing a correction right back to the prior all-time high, the breakout zone. So this is all natural. It's not doing anything out of the ordinary. A lot of times we do pull back to the breakout zone, which is right at 110. And we're still primed for another attempt up higher because we only saw one. So we saw one leg up right here, pull back. First attempt to reach the measurement target failed. Correction lower, retest the breakout, second attempt higher. So this is what's most probable of playing out. I don't think this is a top. I think this is a very low probability. And this is actually a good sign we're selling off towards the downside because what happens in breakouts, a lot of times they fail. So this downside breakout can fail and we can see a reversal, very strong reversal higher. Just like over here, this was a break of this level, saw a strong reversal take place. You can go back to other charts right about here. This was a double bottom, and look what you get. You get a fake breakout, and then price strongly reverse higher. So a lot of times these breakouts are traps, especially when they're counter trend to the macro momentum. So most likely this is going to be bottoming soon, in my opinion, and we should see a bounce here. If it doesn't, then we'll reanalyze it. But as right now, that's likely to occur. Let's take a look at the metrics for MSTR. 3-month return, it's actually pretty bad, but they're doing better than Apple, which is pretty funny. Apple's a multi-trillion-dollar company, and they're actually performing better than Apple by 1 percentage point. But if you go to the 1 year, MSTR is still dominating even more than Bitcoin. So 1 year, if you bought it back in summer of last year, you're still good. If you just bought it recently this year or just a few months ago, then you're probably down. But overall, it looks like long term, it's still a very good performer in my opinion. Bitcoin Treasuries list, you can see that it's still number one, 628,791. I want to own the company with the most Bitcoin on the balance sheet, which is MSTR. And MNAV is getting compressed 1.4. I think it was about 1.67, something like that before. It's getting smaller for all these companies. Even Metaplanet is only at a 2.475. I think at once, this not too long ago, it was like a 6 or 7. So the MNAV is compressing. Most likely when this bottoms out, is going to start expanding up higher. So most likely, I think they're also going to be purchasing this week. So they'll probably reveal it maybe Sunday or Monday that they bought more Bitcoin. So that's all I have for MSTR on the daily chart. We went over the metrics, went over Bitcoin chart, went over why it sold off because just the broader market sold off and the technicals were bearish. Anyway, it was showing signs of weakness. And let's wrap up the video by looking at the weekly chart. See if the long-term trend is still intact. And that's basically one of the most important things. Is the long-term trend still bullish? And I would say yes. The long-term trend is still bullish, even though we are starting to see strong signs of weakness. So we have this first trend line right here. Price did not come back to it. And then we have this trend line right here. It could be dragged, drawn slightly shallower. You could draw it over here or slightly shallower. That one still would work and we're still above it. Even if we do come to the first one, it's not the end of the world. I just would not want to see that, which is at the 280s as of right now. So it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's not something you want to see. But overall, basically we had a triple top and it's acting as a short-term wall and price is selling off. This could just be a short trap and we could see a massive move up higher. But overall, long-term trend still looks pretty good. I think this is too early to call a top, even though, yes, in the short term, momentarily, you could say it's a top. But macro is still bullish. Short term, or the micro is bearish. And we'll see if the long-term trend ends or not. So all I have for MSTR on the daily and weekly charts. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.